up till I'm on top.
Yo,
yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, then I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now
It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming, a special Thursday night edition. What makes it so special? Well, we have a big Thursday night live stream tonight, the dual stream with the Sports Money Squad, razor sharp picks, and friends joining us tonight. Can't wait. Speaking of can't wait, I shouldn't have waited to try to get this in because this line is moving. But sometimes shit happens. Shit is happening right now. It's because it's a tight slate and we're on the right spots. That is why shit is happening. Okay, let me fix that. Let me do this. And where'd you go? Where did you go? What a great start. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. I hope you're ready to fire up. I'm ready to fire up some football tonight. See if we can't recreate a little bit of our live betting action. Now look at the NFL for me. Prime times have been really good, really strong. Props have been firing. Cashed 2 same-game parlays already. My afternoon Sunday card sucked. That 1 o'clock slot on Sunday was just atrocious. So I think look, destroyed that Bills game. What are you going to do? So we're up, but we're not up. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, made some money, but it was just because of drunken, irresponsible betting. And so we've got some work to do in the NFL. But I think I've got a hell of a game script tonight. How about that? And I think because of that, there's 4 plays that I have. Let me check real quick. Let me look. 3 plays. 3 plays I might give you a 4th. What the fuck? I'm going to give you a same game parlay tonight when we go live. Why not? We cash 2. What a fun night, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. I see I screwed up the graphic. I don't know I know what's been going on. A lot of late nights is what's been going on. And we got a new debut, so don't be late. There's a new countdown slide tonight. You don't want to miss that one. I've been cracking away. Cracking on the brain. I saw Vitalis in the chat. The Kraken about to be released. Now I'm cracking. What's cracking, everybody? Hope you're doing well. The Nationals, the Marlins will fight tonight. The Mets and the Phils will try to keep it right. KC in Cleveland, Colorado, San Diego, the Angels in Seattle. I don't want to say it, but I absolutely love that Seattle Angels spot tonight. Love it. Hands down, bag over the head, kick the bookie right in the dick style play of the night right there. We'll see if we can get that thing home. And I don't think I added anything. I think that's good. Oh, I see what I did. Fuck. I know what I did wrong. Shit. I knew I shouldn't have waited. My bad for waiting. What do they say? He who hesitates has to go back in and make sure you got it done right. That's what I'm talking about here. And I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm just being greedy, being selfish right now. I got to get this in. And yeah, I knew something was wrong. That's better. That's better. We got WNBA. Season's coming to an end. I got 2, maybe 3 plays in the WNBA. I'm so close to pulling the trigger on the Valkyries. Problem is, I just get busted up by the Minnesota Lynx and their team totals. Minnesota's an under team. We'll talk about it. College football's got a game tonight, the lone space. I already gave you guys one play earlier this week. We got that 52.5 locked and loaded. 51.5 should be fine if that's all you could get. I'm going to tease it with a side. And they're talk a little bit about why I'm doing that. And then the NFL, the big enchilada, the big bang. Should be a fun night. Should be a fun night of action. Now, we had a fun night last night. Besides, it's funny. I was listening earlier today and just the sharps are steering away from baseball, but somebody's really fucking sharp. Sharp report came out today. We were on the White Sox. The White Sox was the line. White Sox cashed. We cashed the under 8.5 in the Pirates game as well. So we're starting the day off 2-0. That's not a bad place to be. I put those plays out there on the post tab for our silver and gold members. A reminder. Appreciate you guys being members, supporting the squad. Lots of gifted memberships on the live streams. And the upgrade option exists. If you become a silver member, get you access through plays Monday through Friday. Extra plays, spots that are either maybe live, not too many live bets, but early action, late action stuff that's on, in, or around this card with last minute line movement for pre-gaming. And then the gold spot gets you involved on Saturday action. Of course, you can go over to Winnable, get all the action. Just looking for some support, you guys. We do this on a regular basis. We're trying to give you guys winning plays. We're grinding, giving you information you might not have access to, like the White Sox today, being a fire on spot. And fire we did. So, that being said, look, the sides last night were not the best, but we made it out because we swept the board in parlays. Not just like one of those pussy 2-0 sweeps either. A full flat. I mean, it was 3. It wasn't like we swept them. Everything we had, we cashed. Just happened to only have 3. It wasn't 2. I don't really consider 2 a sweep. Some people say mini sweep. I mean, I guess in the theory of the nature of having a 0 out there, but you really didn't load the gun too much. So I guess in that case, we swept the board this afternoon. The 3 unders I gave you guys, that plus 384 parlay was the big one. Under 8, Cincinnati Reds cashed. Under 8, Seattle Marlins cashed. Under 8, Pittsburgh Pirates cashed. Plus 384 parlay cashed. Paul Skeens doesn't go deep, but he does the job. Under 7, over 7.5 strikeouts for Paul Skeens cashes at a plus 312. And then that Phillies Dodgers, maybe it was square, but sometimes it's hip to be square. Bam, bam. Anyhow, plus 110 came home for us there. The Nationals lost 8-3. The Yankees got busted up. It was only 2-0 in the first 5, but still busted up. Busted the fuck up, too, because that game got fucked. And Jose Barrios does not have the bounce back. Bounce back Barrios was a thing. The shame for me in that game, I don't even know if I want to tell you guys. I don't want you to get mad at me. Late, sharp steam report came through and they were on the Astros. So those fuckers won. Tampa Bay lost, San Diego lost, but the under cashed in the 7.5. So that's a profitable day. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't really feel like it. But I've told you guys before, if you're a $100 bettor, you win $300 a day. That's over $100K in a year. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And if you're a $100 bettor, you're up about $12,000 with us this baseball season. And we know that everybody bets with different increments. So it's just a standard unit of measure. Just a standard unit. 12 inches is a foot. How many feet? I don't want to know. I changed my mind. I don't want to know. But let's see. Let's see. What's some other things that I can share with you guys here? I told you yesterday about T Scumbag, softest motherfucker out there for the San Francisco 49ers. And it's official. Well, it was official yesterday when I told you. It wasn't not official. It's just now that everybody knows the line's getting fucking screwed. San Francisco 49ers are just a banged up mash unit already. Them boys be soft. Can Spencer Rattler and company do the job? I'm inclined to say yeah. I'm smidge close to moving on this San Francisco 49er spot. Also, Survivor Pool. Now, I thought about this. You guys have to tell me if it's something that you're interested in, but I thought about talking about a couple Survivor picks. But the problem is I'm head-to-head with a bunch of you guys. And so I don't want to keep giving you my teams. Survivor entries are due today if you got involved in the SCN. So don't forget, get them locked in, get them loaded up. It's all about strategy. All about strategy. How are you going to get paid in the NFL Survivor? There's some spots. There are some spots. You got to imagine the world's taking Baltimore, right? Or they're on the Cardinals. I already took the Cardinals last week, and I'm not taking Baltimore. I probably won't take a team that's double digits all season. And the true nature of me, I hope those teams lose. So Baltimore's got to be fucking pissed, though, after that Bills loss last week there. Woo! I wouldn't want to be in their way. And they're playing Cleveland. Divisional game. Divisional dogs. You know, you want to stay away from divisional dogs. Especially divisional road dogs. Divisional road dogs. I shouldn't have to. If I'm telling you this, let's do Survivor one-on-one. Because you shouldn't be taking the divisional dog on the road. Now, points-wise, sure. But straight up, that's what we're talking about. Survivor, straight up. So you shouldn't be doing that. If you want to do that, slide into my DMs, let me know, and I'll set up a little contest with you. Big bucks. Few plays. Let's see what else. What else is happening in the world of sports today? Well, I would be remiss not to say we will never forget. Gone and not forgotten. And thoughts and prayers to all those families out there affected by those horrible events of September 11th. 24 years ago. Very sad, very somber. Pretty cool tree they got down there. The Survivor tree. That's pretty cool. The reflecting pond. That's done a nice job setting that up, creating a tranquil environment right in the heart of the Big Apple, the biggest little city in the world. But tragic, and be remiss not to mention September 11th. And remember where you were back then. That's one of my points in time where I remember where I was. I remember they were wheeling in TVs, and I was thinking, man, what's going on? And all of a sudden, it's a big deal, and certainly it was. So thoughts and prayers to all those families. I like to think of those kids calling out the name. That's a lot of names, too, over 3,000 names. But I wonder how long they'll do that for. That's what I found myself wondering today. It's a very nice thing. And I saw some of these younger kids like talking about their grandparents. And I started thinking, man, 24 years ago, their dads or moms were probably their age that they are right now. Just a interesting point to reflect every so often and just think about what is, and fortunate to be here with you guys doing what we do. So let's get to work. Let's do what we do out here. We've got some action. We've got some 640 Major League Baseball with that Nationals and Marlins. That'll kick off our card, but you know the deal. Before we kick off our card, we want to see the plays you guys are on. And before we even get there, we need you to help share this Sports Money Network. Smash that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. It costs you nothing. It helps us a ton. It keeps this thing growing. It keeps YouTube letting them know we are relevant. We don't get buried in the shelf. I want to do this with 4 views. And I know we're not doing that. So I appreciate you guys being here. Smash that thumbs up button and we'll get to work. Let's do it. What you say about that? I'm pretty jacked up for the night's card. Man, a lot of card for Friday, a lot of card for Saturday. It's almost overwhelming. Now, you got to suspect by now, I'm not just a traditional look at the card and cap every game type of guy, right? I have spots that I circle, and then I go in there and I cap those. I have trends that become active across my dashboards. Built them over the last couple of years, and when they pop up, I look at those and cap those. So it's been a lot better developing a strategy that I can leverage because, man, they have to cap every. Now, the NFL Sunday is a different story. I don't know. I do look at, there's only 12, 13, 14 games on a Sunday. So what are you not going to look at it? Well, actually, in fact, by now, when we get down to the season, there'll be like 10, 11. So anyway, I digress. Let's make some money tonight, you guys. Appreciate you all rolling in here with us. You see the games we're going to cover. Let's talk about the games you guys are on. Let's get some best bets in the chat. Let's give you guys a shout out. Let's get this thing moving. And shout out to Vitalis, the Kraken about to be released. My man's ready to go tonight, Thursday night football. The Green Bay Packers. The Washington Commanders. Yikes. Talk to Nicholas Handy and David Wallace. Pachico de Gallos checking in. Kerry Frank. Like Washington in the over tonight. Justin McCalvey says sports money is money, my guy. What's up? Stats, baby. Robert McCormick's here. Jay Main. They missed all the food numbers. Good numbers, I think is what he means. Packers -3. There's the Valkyries +7. Go Valkyries. +7 for my guy Stacks. See, I was right there, man. Oh, Justin. We'll see. We'll see if I can pull the trigger tonight. Shout out to Joe W, though. Says, cheers, Mikey. Stop Geoengineering's in the house. Good luck tonight, my people. Pumped up for the Sports Money Live show later tonight. Yes, sir. Justin McCalvey says, Castellanos over 1.5 bases at +114. If you know, you know. FAFO with Castellano. Let's go, McCalvey. Jay Main says, McCroskey under rushing yards. Steve Bailey likes Cowboys this week. And I know he's talking about Survivor. It's not a bad look. Dallas will be pretty, I think they'll be pretty popular this week too. Playing the shit Giants team. I did hear after I'd mentioned on Monday that coach came out and had the conversation saying that they're gonna keep letting Russ cook. He didn't say that, but I never forget when let Russ cook. And something bit me. But he's going to meet with the ownership. And he's going to go try to see if they can get, I guess, somebody else in. I don't know what the allure is with Russell Wilson. You know what it's got to be? If you haven't had, you had Eli Manning. I thought Eli Manning was a fucking scrub. I know he beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls. I get it. But guy's like a fucking hayseed. And he ran so square and stiff. And it was like, you're not a mobile quarterback. And he had some decent players. And maybe it's because they beat the Eagles a bunch of times. But I don't know. So I guess the allure is you get a guy like Russell Wilson, who's won a Super Bowl. He is mobile. He's all the things that you haven't really had ever. I like the team better with Jackson Dart or the fuck. Might as well give Jameis Winston a shot. He got the LASIK last year. Timmy Two Shoe says Romeo Dobbs is not being held off the score sheet tonight. Nice touchdown price as well. I'll tell you who's not getting held off the score sheet tonight is Josh Jacobs. But he's priced at -200. That's Saquon Barkley numbers. What? David says under 4.5 first 5 and the pack money line. Let's go. Silent Rap says, isn't lock 914? Markel. I'm on Redskins quarterback rushing yard 70+. Markel says, let Russ cook. God damn it. Tarek B says, what up, Mike? My Commander's going to upset the books tonight. Can't go against them. Justin McKelvey says, if Russ keeps playing, Sierra going to leave him for her baby daddy. Future. She's a fine-looking specimen. I still think about when he had that birthday party and nobody showed up. God, it reminds me of, what was that movie called? Draft Day. I don't know if you guys like Draft Day or not. I like Draft Day. I'm a Kevin Costner fan, I guess, in hindsight. I liked everything, but the Postman was really, really tough. Ooh, that was a tough one. But when you get Bo. Nobody wanted Bo. And nobody showed up to Bo's birthday party. And that was a big deal. And then Kevin Costner calls him up and says, Bo. And then they talk about the birthday party. And then the scout gets mad. What do you think's more likely? Quarterback of the team. Well, did he play for Nebraska? Anyways, good movie. That reminds me a little bit of Russell Wilson. You get Russ. Turk B says Kevin Costner's a Hollywood legend. David says you can have her. All right, back to work. Back to work. Let's get this party started in here with this Miami Marlins in here. And we've got a Gore Weathers spot. Now, yeah, the big piece yesterday was obviously the Marlins kicking him in the teeth. Teeth on curb, foot on back of head. If you know, you know. As they've moved forward, Mackenzie Gore's a piece. I mean, he's not a dime piece. This guy's got a 3.7 ERA on the road. You know he struggles out there. He's gone against Miami and given up 6 runs in his last 2 starts. Should suspect that this guy is leaking like a sieve. Not only should he leak like a sieve, he does not find wins. And this is a problem. Clearly, in a game where you need to get the dub, and you're not getting the dub, I can't back your ass right now. And that's what it comes down to here. 0-9. Divisional road starts. Didn't allow a home run his last game. In other words, he's not gifted enough to put it up back to back. And so I'll take Miami to kick the card off for the evening tonight, especially after that little momentum change up yesterday. A little change up. We had the Nats. Did not look good, but minus 148. This has come down to 126. Look, I mentioned the Sharps and that they're coming out of Major League Baseball, at least to the playoffs. What have we been doing where we're fading some of these steam chasing spots now? We're letting the public dummy it up for us. You want to go take them Nats? You go right ahead. Keep betting on them. Keep bet. Because they look at Miami and they go, that's a bad team. Well, yeah. But baseball, if anything, operates in an independent structure with all of these pitchers. It should be an under. We've seen 8.5s move to 8s, move to 7.5s. We're not asking for a ton. Now, the one caveat, the Marlins are bringing back Weathers, and it will be his first start. But so Gore. So I'm good with that. I think this is pretty neutral situation, other than the fact that, yeah, if we're going to trust anybody coming back from being injured, let's not trust a guy that can't win a game in this particular situation. So is it likely he comes out there and shoots lights out? I'll take my chances. I'm going to say no. I say no. What did I do here? Oh, I know what I did here. This is all right. So if you guys were wondering at the start of the show, what was that spot that I was adding? It is this spot. It is Jesus. Luzardo. He's coming out to this thing here. Look, you know the narrative. You've probably heard it all day today or on your drive home. What is the narrative? We got a Miami Marlins 13 straight over spot in play tonight. Runs aplenty is what the numbers would suggest. By the way, I'm not going to fuck around with that Tigers and Yankees game. I don't see that's a zero-sum game. You know what I mean by zero sum? If you lay the 162 for the Yankees and they lose again, you're fucked. And if you take the Tigers on the money line and the Yankees do come back and finally kick off that losing streak, you're fucked. Probably the only way to play it is the Tigers on the money line. But you have Schlittler. I'll tell you what, I'd give you a prop. While we're here, while I'm talking about it. I think this is that time of the year where we're deep in the season. You have to expect when we're deep in the season that you have to look for these guys to develop some poor tendencies. In other words, just trying to kind of get through it as they learn the ropes out there. Now, he hasn't played the whole season, so I get that, but 2 or more walks for Schlittler, priced at minus 135, talks to me about that command and control issue that I suspect a young gun cannon would have at this point of the season. So if you're looking for a play, I give you a lean on that. Let me see what the price tag is. Let's see. Player props. Cam Schlittler. It's come down a little bit. Wow, there's such a wide discrepancy in pricing. Wow. This might be, we might be firing on this right now. Hang on. I don't know why it's grayed out. Is it grayed out because they know I'm talking about it and it's going to cash? You think that's likely the situation? He's averaging 2.2 walks on the season right now. His total has dropped from -1. It was 135. It's now minus 124 at DraftKings. But places like ESPN Bet have it juiced. Minus 160s. All right. I'm going to take it. See how fast that happens? Talk yourself into it. We'll fuck around and we'll find out. Techby's not going to touch the Yankees today. They're garbage. They took my money. Yeah, well, listen. That's where I think. Now, I meant to mention this at the start of the show. Donald Trump will be out there to throw the first pitch, or I don't know if he's throwing the first pitch, but he's going to be there in remembrance of 9/11. So, president on deck, and they suggested fans leave as early as 3 to 4 hours before the game. So think about that. I don't know how that affects you. Maybe it doesn't affect your handicap, but I know if Kid Rock was throwing the after party and they were singing and dancing on the field, I'd be on the Yankees. Tigers were so cold for so long, and they're one of the best teams in the AL, if not all of baseball, and they're finally heating back up. Mets and Phillies. You see on the screen, here's a little 2-leg parlay. Now, this is where I got a little conflicted. This line has come down, minus 142, now minus 126. 78% of the bets and 56% of the cash are on the Fightin' Phils. It's come down 16 cents. In other words, they've made it more attractive to bet it because people are betting the Mets. David Shrimp Dick Peterson. 90% of the bets and 93% of the cash are on. I have no idea what that looks like, by the way. Over 8.5 is juiced to the under. By the way, did you know? And it's David Peterson. Now, the David Peterson that we were cashing on early in the season days are done. He has not found a way. He has disappointed and then some because he was rolling shutouts. But listen to his last 5 starts. 6 runs, 1 run, 2 runs, 8 runs, 4 runs. Dude is leaking. Lekmer's leaking. So I can see why the over might get some people jacked up. I get it. Look, 8-0 to the over in road games after they allowed 6 or more runs and their opponent used less than 6 pitchers. But I like Jesus Luzardo. Give me Jesus. Put some Jesus in my life. And let me parlay it with Philly. The numbers come down, and this has just made it such a nice plus money. I liked Jesus in the first place. But two things happened that made me kind of consider this trigger. One, the numbers moved in the right direction for us. In other words, it's gotten pricier as the day has gone on. That's always a big factor we look for in betting props. Two, I think these Mets bats can go ice cold. So despite the over trends, it's not the Mets that I believe contribute to it. Now the wind is blowing in. That's why I can't get involved with the over. It's just not all the conditions don't fully line up in this thing. But man, when you look at what's going on with Jesus out there, it's lefty on lefty matchup too, which you guys know. You had me at lefty on lefty. But the nature of anybody that's had any hits and success are Juan Soto, 17 at-bats, 6 hits, 353. And Jeff McNeil buried down there in the 7th spot with 14 at-bats and 5 hits. Now, collectively, those guys' numbers drop significantly on the road. And they drop significantly against lefty righties. So the two guys that are showing any real consistency, I consider over 300 is pretty consistent, especially if you have a shit ton of experience at your helm. Not a shit ton, but just more than 3 or 5 pitches, right? But with that two factors, I think we can nullify those two. And then we look at a little Jesus Luzardo. What have we seen from Jesus? He's had a couple of good starts in a row. Gave up 2 runs his last game. That was against Miami. That was on the road. At home, he shut down Atlanta, went 7 innings deep. Only walked 1 guy, 7 strikeouts. And listen to these strikeout numbers, 7, 12. There's a 5 in there. That was at Mets the last time. 7 and 8. So I think the books are overvaluing that 6.5 now, based on the fact the last time you saw the Mets was a 5-inning pitcher. But that was on the road. He's got all the conditions right now. It's his field. He gets the mound set up the way he wants it. He's got that home team cheering and rooting behind him. I think it's a tough night here to play for the New York Mets. But look, the reason I wanted to parlay this together is in the event, I'm not that -1.5 fuck around in case they lose type of guy. I want to go out there and smash him. If I'm going to take the shot, I want to be all in on the shot. And the shot for me is Jesus Luzardo over 6.5 strikeouts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to our guy, Jover. Got the Commanders plus 3.5. Just want to say hello. Can't stay long. Daughter's birthday. Shout out to you, Jover. And I do want to shout out the Post tab. The Post, I talked about it before, you guys. If you're not familiar with it, it's absolutely worth sharing it with you guys right now. You look on this thing. And why am I sharing it? Because it's a absolutely free resource for you guys to utilize from our community, helping each other out, trying to get these wins out there. You roll on in. You go to the channel. You'll see home, videos, shorts, live, playlist, and posts. Click on posts. Scroll on down. Look, there's my afternoon plays I put out there. 2 thumbs up. Thank you to the 2 of you that did that. Appreciate that. Fuckers. But here we go. Look at this post. 44 votes. We'd love to get those numbers beefed up. 61% on the Commanders plus 3.5. Look, I thumbs up this one. I got to thumbs up my own fucking posts. Is that what this is coming to? I'm going to thumbs up my own posts. So I reference this. I preface this because this tool, this community was finding about a 70%. I think it was 69.5%, literally. I mean, it was phenomenal last year. And that was across all sports and big games, including football. So when you see the big games out there, now let's see. Let's put it to the test. The Bears and the Vikings. Well, there's an offer. Let's see. I'm building it up. I should have looked at this first. Oh, look at this. All right. So we got a 55% number. The Ravens. Both those teams were winning except for second half fuckery. So anyhow, looks like we're going to have some work to do with those polls, but check those out. You don't want to miss out. Jover's been putting those out there on a regular basis, and we appreciate him doing that. We'll get him back on screen live after the birthday party settle down. Big family stuff going on there for our guy Jover. We appreciate what he's doing. Mr. Tomatoes. I think it's worth going Yankees-Packers moneyline parlay tonight. Grab your sack and your tomatoes. Let's have a day. Listen to you guys in the chat. Make me laugh. Let's go. Oh, my nose itches. Kansas City Royals, Cleveland Guardians. Here's a spot that you can't leave alone. This is one of them. Got to fire. The question is how wide and how deep. Right now, you got 75% of the bets and 66% of the cash in the Cleveland Guardians. The total from 8 has dropped to 7.5. Reverse line movement alert. 86% of the bets, 85% of the cash on the over, and yet it's gone from 8 to 7.5. This to me comes down to the pitching matchup. I opted to isolate the first 5 here. Gavin Williams, in the perception of the whole season, he's got a 3.17 ERA, and a team catches wins behind him, 10-5. Boy, when Kansas City bats get cold, they are ice cold. But man, if you drill down, 2.19 ERA since the All-Star break for Gavin Williams. He's a guy that's got experience. He's gone deep in this season before. And a 1.99 over his last 4. As this season goes on, this guy just keeps getting better. He's given up 2 or fewer runs in 11 of his last 17 starts. Starching the other side of things. Stephen Coley. 2 starts since getting traded from San Diego. His problem, he can give up runs. But look, they sent him down to the minors. They let him work on some things. You know, it's a big deal coming back up to the bigs and that speed change. So 2.41 ERA on the road for Kolek. I just don't want to trust the bullpens. Not with 2 shit games. It scares me off of it just a little bit. Now, I may have the full game under at an 8 with some juice. But I think you're plenty fine here with the first 5. Join me. Jump in. The water should be fine. I think Kolek's going to be fine. Like I said, that kick down, getting kicked down to the minors, getting a chance to work on some things after you had a spot start, a couple starts. I think that pays a lot of dividends, especially when you're playing a shit team like Cleveland Guardians. Guardians or the Mets? I'm not sure. Guardians or Mets? I'm just not sure. Which team would you rather have? Funny thing, Guardians shut out Kansas City 2-0. What happens after a team gets a shutout? The other team wins. And Kansas City traded back that spot 4-3 yesterday. So I've been on the first 5 in this series pretty much right down the rip. I think I lost that first one. Oh, no, maybe I can't remember. It's been doing quite well in this series. So I'm just going to keep riding this one. We don't have a ton of baseball on. I mean, in hindsight, there's not a ton of baseball on the card tonight. So it kind of felt like a good one. I'm going to go back to it because the price tag sits where it does. As we look at this Padres and Rockies game, we know the Padres can be an under team, and we know that the Rockies have not scored a run in like 55 first innings. It's not that high, but it's high. It's like 30. So you got a team that can't score against a team that isn't scoring, and a big Padres move, minus 235, now minus 250. Somehow, the Padres lost. Big loser yesterday. The under cashed because they're not scoring runs. 8.5s. Look, this is strict. I told you this will be like the 6th time I've played at Nerfy, and that includes that parlay the other day that did not cash. So, grain of salt this thing as you're considering your place. But look, you're getting even money, plus 104 with the conditions I just mentioned with Vasquez. Now they win with Vasquez. The problem is Brown. Brown's. We're gonna need some happen. We're gonna need some luck out of Brown. Because this guy's got a 12.5 ERA. Now he's 0-3. We don't need him to win. His road ERA does go down. So he's 9.82. He's bad. He's not as bad as he is at Coors. And he doesn't go very deep. But we don't need him to go very deep. In fact, what I like about this play is the last team he played, San Diego. And he shit the bed. So there's a zig, and then there's a zag. And the fact that he pitches better on the road, and he's facing the same team again, to me says he can get through the first inning. And we're going to catch a plus 104 price tag for it. It's plus 104 because the books don't think so. But they're not looking at it through the lens that we are. Boy, it'd be nice to cash one of these before the end of the season. It's like when they line up and look too good to be true, they are. Sorry, it was Kansas City first 5 under 4.5. I'm sorry. Did I not put this banner up there? Good question. Good question. Keep me accountable. My bad. I went to the under. Under in the Kansas City first 5. The Colorado Rockies nerfy, and we're going to roll on the last baseball game on the slate for us tonight. Then I've got 2 WNBA plays. I've got 2 NCAA football plays. I've got 3 total NFL plays. And then we'll put a bow on the show and get ready for the big show, the live show, the late night show. Gonna get my slur on tonight, I think. Get my slur on, start feeling pretty damn good with Thursday leading to Friday, Friday leading to the weekend. Got a lot of shit to do this weekend, though, man. A lot of capping to do. Jerry Davis is trash. Can Randy his? Yeah. Trash can Randy. Thought I saw a Randy trash can trend. Like I said, sometimes I see them and they kind of stick in the back of my memory. And then at some point it's like, all right, let me try to recall this. Let me try to bring this back out. I don't think I can. I don't remember where it was. I don't remember what it was. I don't care. Just give me one. Sweaty 6, baby. And we'll be sweating it out live on air together. That should be right around halftime. That will sweat that sweaty 6 out there. Last game on the docket for me is a gem, is a beaut, is a plus money price tag, is a Miller versus Soriano spot. Soriano starting for those Los Angeles Angels, 4.07 ERA. I can't imagine a world in which Bryce Miller and doesn't slay Jose Soriano. Now, they're on a tear. They woke the fuck up and found out they might get eliminated from the playoffs. What a shame. And it's a boomer bust team. We had that under yesterday. What a thing of beauty. That thing went, what did they play? 27 innings yesterday? I'm just kidding. It was 13, but 4-2 final. This team is boomer bust. They are built to swing deep. They are built to swing big. And they've been swinging away. Now, they've had some shit opponents. And I think the Angels, despite being 3-1 in their last 4, might fall under similar criteria. You're adding the road to it. And the problem they have when you look at their lineup is there's some guys that are out. Rendon, Shanuel, O'Hop. It's got a couple big bats in the lineup out there. And then if you look at it, the Angels really don't have any success against Miller. Trout's hitting a 200. He's going to be a DH, more than likely. Nito's hitting a 182. Ward's a killer, 333. No Adele in the lineup. Big time issues for the Angels, I think, in this spot tonight. And then we're looking at, okay, let's count on the Seattle Mariners. I literally thought about the run line with the under in this one because the two correlated to me. Seattle Mariners, 1 game back of the Houston Astros. So they're motivated. They're pumped. They're fired up. They're trying to get that 3rd wild card spot. Then they look at Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller came back from the IL. He had 2 shit starts. He's fired up. 6 strong innings. Just 2 runs allowed. Now, the problem is it was against Cleveland. You've heard me talk about what I think about Cleveland. Now, the same side is the numbers on righties have been suspect for the Seattle Mariners as well. If you look at it, they're 24th in Major League Baseball on their OBA. The WRC plus, remember we talked to hundreds, like the middle of the pack. They're 84th. 84 WRC plus means they're 24th in Major League Baseball, and they're striking out a lot. 20. So that be some of the Angels. I'm sorry, Angels numbers out there. So I think you got that combo package of the Miller shutting down them Angels lineup. What do we see out of Soriano? He had a really bad start his last one. He gave up 8 runs by the 3rd inning, and they yanked his ass out of there. So he's allowed 5 or more runs in 3 of his last 6 starts. But he's 10-0 to the under. I'm sorry. Seattle is 10-0 to the under after a game of extra innings. They get tired. They're averaging 5 runs a game. The Angels are 6-0 to the under in series openers as a dog against the AL when they're on a 2-game or bigger win streak. Keep that in mind. Series opener, AL, 2-game win streak. Now the average run, 5.4. So we're still seeing comfortable unders. 8-1 on the road as a dog versus a team that's on a 2-game win streak. So you got 2 teams, both on 2-game win streaks with trends that affect them both out there. I like this under. I think what those numbers are telling us is we are going to see Soriano go out there and do some shoving. But I think Seattle can scratch out on top. The bats are just better this time of year. They're the team that's got more to play for. And I don't think do you really care about being, I'll tell you what, I've been on some shit teams that have been eliminated. I could care less about playing spoiler. I don't get up and think to myself, I can't wait to eliminate these guys. No, I'm thinking, I can't believe I still got to fucking play. So that's it. That's for me. And it's a plus money price tag. I think that's a really good spot for us to take advantage of this current scenario. And hey, if we can catch 3 or 4 of these plus money price tags tonight, we're going to have ourselves a nice card. We swept the board with those parlays last night. Now, these aren't really parlays, right? These little 2-leg. I mean, they are, I guess. I guess they are. But we got enough of them, and they pay a nice price tag. And I think the case can be made for all of them. So, I'm not trying to overstretch. Speaking of not trying to overstretch, Angel Reese is not trying to overstretch. She is essentially done. Her back hurts. Bad attitude. That chick's got a bad attitude. I don't know. I'm going to have to reevaluate my Angel Reese fandom for next year. Because the attitude stinks. You know what I mean? She's suspended for the half after shitting on not shitting on somebody literally, but like talking shit. And then she doesn't want to play the second half. And the Sky are pretty much done anyways. They scored 61 points their last game. Now they're playing the New York Liberty team. There is some jockeying for playoff positions, by the way. That Valkyries game has huge playoff implications. The Fever game has playoff implications. Just seeding, just how the seeding is done out there. And the Liberty should want to go out there and put the game away. They are 9-12 on the road. They are a big favorite at 14.5 points. I don't care. Average on the season for the Chicago Sky, 75.6 points. On the season. That includes all those points when them gals were healthy. And now they're just checked out with bad attitudes running amok on a shit team. I'll take the under team total at 71. I know it's low. Maybe sometimes a little scary. Justin McCalvey likes Rodriguez over 1.5 bases plus 115 in his pocket. Anthony Gallos has heard she bruised her eyelashes again. I like them eyelashes. You know the problem I have, though? Did you guys see that one meme where she's compared to like was it a Fraggle? Is that what those things were called? Remember Fraggle Rock? I forgot what they were called. And the dude's got the eyes that are like out like this. And then they showed her next to it. And I was like, oh man, I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that. Shout out to Mr. Tomato says Trump and Yankee Stadium to honor and remember those. Yeah, I mentioned that. I told you guys he was going to be there. All right. Ice Age, is that who it was? I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm going to see if I can find it so it'll ruin her for you guys like it did for me. Because you guys know how way back to the LSU days. I like them running around there doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, but what does matter is this Dallas first half. We'll take the points. This is one of those spots where the line opened up, it's dropping, but FanDuel is juicing and giving us a shot at it. And we've cashed the last 3 times this has happened, unbeknownst to maybe anybody. And so I'll take a shot. They are playing the Mercury. How about this? I was just thinking about this, by the way. The Valkyrie, in their game, should they win, it will knock down the Atlanta Dream. Remember the Dream and how much I've been shitting on the Dream? Shitting on my own dreams is what's happening by doing that. And if the Valkyrie pull it off, they get like the number 2 seed, I think I saw. And if they don't, they fall to like the number 5 seed or something like that. That's kind of some big implications for that Valkyrie game. But this game doesn't have shit on the line. This game's just one of those. Again, the numbers coming down against it. Dallas just keeps losing. But because they keep losing, we keep cashing. Cashed on them again the other day. The problem is the books have to draw some action. And they opened it at 3. It dropped to 2.5. And you still can get a 3.5 out there. If you can only get a 3 or a 2.5, I'm fine with that too. But I paid up. I paid the juice to get the extra hooker. Sid from Ice Age. Is that who it is? Let me look real quick. You guys obviously saw it too. I don't know if that's what it was. I thought it was well, I guess it could be. Sid, Ice Age, Angel, Reese. It's commonly searched. Let's see. That's it. There you go. Here's a real treat. I don't know if we get in trouble for this or not, but who's going to yell at me? This doesn't even do it justice. Because this eye's actually looking in the same direction as this eye. But there was one where they were bouncing out there on the outside. Now you've seen it. Now you can't unsee it. You're welcome. She just seems like she has a bad attitude. I'd like her attitude not to be so bad. You lose me quickly when you got a bad attitude, you know? Nobody wants to deal with a bad fucking attitude, sour puss look on your face all the time. The only time you're happy is when you're shit talking somebody and making fun of them. Seems bad attitude. 2-0 Marlins. Let's go, boys. College football. I already gave you guys the under in this game. Now look at. I added the teaser. Here's the deal. I think I am going to take those Valkyrie now that we talk about it. I got the under. This line has been bouncing around like a fucking ping pong ball. It was like 56.5. Now it's 51.5. Then it went up to 52s and 52.5. So now it's starting to come back down again. Total. Back number. And if you look at it, we'll talk about it in a second, but they've been scoring. So I get it. Now the line is sitting around 7.5. 89% of the bets, 88% of the cash on the under. It bottomed out at 51.5. It's now you can even get some 53s. Are we going to see a shootout? The 6.5s moved to 7.5 with 73% of the bets and 71% of the cash on the Demon Deacons. ESPN was there live. I never watched the Pat McAfee show, but it was there. They were on. Problem for the Deacons is NC State don't fuck around. They are size. They are size in the trenches, and that is an issue for anybody. Yeah, they're 2-0, but you just beat up West Carolina 42-10. Before that, I don't know if you consider, we bet on Kennesaw State. We took the 19 points with Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State almost won outright 10-9 to open the season. On the other side of things, NC State had that big battle against the East Carolina. I guess that was the rivalry. That was the back-to-back spot. I don't know how. See, the problem if you're a team like the Wolfpack versus if you're a team like East Carolina is if you're East Carolina, you're trying to make everyone a rival. You're trying to bring everyone down to your depths of hell. If you're a team like the NC State Wolfpack, your rivals are more like Clemson, not East Carolina. So I know a lot of people were high on that game and some great spots were given out there. I just wasn't that big a rivalry for me. Now they did have a fight, at the end of that bowl game, but then they go out there, they're laying 3 against Virginia and they throttled them. They won by 4 points, both games. Now the difference for the points on both sides of this thing, and this is where I lean to the Wolfpack, is the quality and the level of competition. And what was at stake? Way higher for NC State. And look, they were down 10 points at halftime against Virginia. They pulled ahead to beat them outright. 35-31, laying that three, as I talked about. So you got that moving for them. I talked about the Kennesaw spot for Wake Forest. I mean, that was an ugly game. Yeah, Western Carolina is an FCS school. So if you want to benchmark it, where do you consider Gardner-Webb in that equation? Where does Gardner-Webb fit in that sauce? Because West Carolina gave up 52 points the week before to Gardner-Webb. So here you go. An FCS school, they score 42 points on. That FCS school allowed another FCS school to score 52 points. Well, you could dismiss it and say they were looking ahead. Okay, I get it. I think they're just going to have some trouble. I think they're going to have trouble moving the ball. They do have a dual quarterback, a dual threat quarterback. I like that in Ashford. But he's just not a good passer. The reason he's a dual threat quarterback is because he sucks and he can't hit the ball down the field. So the big spot for me with NC State is the upgrade in the defensive side of the ball. Tough going out there for that first half against Virginia. But look, the emotional battle that took place the week before in that alleged rivalry game is enough. I don't want to get involved with the side, though. The reason I like this spot, two things. Wake Forest allows 32.5 points a game a year ago. So that was close to the bottom of college football. It doesn't seem like it's gotten much better, and they're not scoring enough points. The fact that this line is ping-ponged, this is why I brought the teaser into play. Essentially, I'm getting the Wolfpack just go out there and win. Essentially. I know it's not quite. But then you add in the fact that this line's come down from the 56.5 and it's starting to creep itself back up, pops me in the game and says, I kind of get myself a little insurance window. I don't expect the Deacons to come out there and win. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even mention the big thing. Wake Forest. 0-6-1 against the spread at home last year. 0-4-1 at home as a dog. And NC State was 3-1 against the spread on the road. We'll put some trends in there for you guys as well. You don't just get my arbitrary assessment of saying this team's a pile. So that's how we're going to play that game. I thought they got the second seed. Justin, I was watching that fucking Pat McAfee show today. I thought that's where I saw it. All right. I'll believe in you, my friend. I know you wouldn't steer us wrong other than when you goes Atlanta Falcons. And the last game of the night, the big one, the Thursday night battle. Excuse me. Thursday night football. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I don't think that's the song, but I sang it anyway. Big spot here. +2.5, move to +3. This market's been bouncing around today too. So 2.5 moved up to 4 for a cup of coffee right around lunchtime when nobody could fucking get it. But somebody got it because it dropped back to 3.5 and it just came down to 3. 55% of the bets and 49% of the cash are on the Commanders. Then you look at the total, 48.5. It's got 96% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the under. Current time, not moving on this under. Interesting spot. It's kind of what I talked about with that last breakdown. Sometimes, it's not like the UFC. The recent matchup game and like MMA doesn't really kind of hold water. I'm sure you hear a lot of people talk about that, right? Can't really play that this guy beat this guy, but this guy lost to that guy. So therefore, no, there's a human element to those guys. And you never know what it looks like with weight cuts and shit like that. But when it comes to certain sports, like football particularly, you can roll them up the gridiron and rank them. You can compare wins and losses. 21-6 were the Commanders over the Giants. Now, some of this affects the cap from a player prop perspective because I like these player props. And if you don't play the player props, you should start thinking about it. Like maybe, especially with primetime games, maybe you take like a unit, like cut it into 4 and make 3 or 4 player props. So that way your investment, you still get the opportunity to try to ride some of these numbers because these markets are fucking volatile, man. Holy cow. And they're sharp as fuck once they finally settle. 27-13 was the Packers game over the Detroit Lions last week. That was a big win. We know that the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators had some change up there on the Detroit side of things, but the Packers offense was humming. Jordan Love, as soft as he is, he was I don't know what was he doing. He passed for 188 yards with 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs is a beast. And again, I told you, I think Josh Jacobs is in a position to score here for this game. This is a tricky spot because I think this game goes over. My heart tells me this game goes over. And really for no other reason than everyone talks about the fucking primetime unders. Now, Thursday unders are a different story. Thursday unders with the short rest. We've talked about this last year. These teams come in, they fire for like one half, and then if they're up or they're down, but based on that, they're going on the bye. So they just kind of pack it in and close up the shop. So problem that I see for the Washington Commanders here, if you haven't looked at the schedule, Green Bay, as much as they say the Eagles have the toughest schedule in the league, I don't say that. They say that. They say that as a defending Super Bowl champ, they probably should. 1, 2, 3, 4. After tonight, 4 of their next 5 games will be on the road. Now they'll be playing shit teams like the Browns and the Cowboys. They'll be playing the Cardinals and then the Steelers for a big battle with Aaron Rodgers. But if you're Green Bay, you got to fire up. And I believe as we look at this one here, I believe the way to go about this, and it kind of correlates for me. First of all, the winningest coach through the first 2 weeks of the season, small sample, does happen to be with them Green Bay Packers. So you got to consider that. This guy preps his team. He gets them fired up. He knows they're going on the road next game. That second half potentially leads us to some exposure. If they're up, beating the shit out of them because Cleveland's got a big step, or Washington's got a big step up in competition, then what do we see? I fired it like this. Fanatics had the -1.5. If you can only get the 2.5, then I'm still good with it because the full game's at 3. I don't think the Commanders come out here and win this game. And I'm looking at their team total under 23.5. And that felt like a good number to me. Now, I prefaced this by saying at the start, kind of thought this game's got a shot to go over, but you bring in Micah Parsons. I'm not he should play. This is one of them rare teams that brought in a new defensive coordinator and got better. They were a shit run defense team. They kept getting ground and crushed in the trenches. And they exposed them Lions last week. They took that 2-headed machine for the Detroit Lions on the ground game, and they nuked them. They shut them right down. They smacked them in their baby little bottoms. So I like that spot. I've got some player props that I'm going to jump in on this game. I saw some of you guys talking about them. I'm not sure I get it. 2 things I'm going to fire off for player props. One, I'm going to go with the over 31.5 passing attempts for. Let me make sure I get this right. Let me make sure I give you the right number. Well, let me start. Well, fuck it. I might as well do it while I'm here. Dude chucked the ball over the yard last week. And they were beaten up on them Giants. Now, I suspect, as I told you with this game, that we're going to see the Green Bay Packers come out early. Well, if they come out early, that means that Washington's going to have to come back late. They're going to have to come back late. That means 31.5 passing attempts. The guy shot 32 times last week in a blowout. He was chucking the ball all over the yard. He's going to need to go chuck the ball this week. So 31.5 passing attempts is -120. I like that spot. The other spot that I jumped in on is this ground game. I'm going to go against the grain, I guess, with some of you guys in this spot because, again, average numbers from last week. I know that doesn't make it all, but Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I'm not sure. It doesn't even sound like I said that right, but I've butchered so many UFC dude names. I don't even care. Bottom line is 37.5 is his prop number. And I like it. I think that's a fair number. He put up 50 yards last week. Now, not high on guys like Deebo Samuel. I don't necessarily know if I believe in that spot here, but defensively, I just talked about Green Bay and showing up on that defensive side of the ball here, but This isn't a big number for this guy to get over 37.5. He should be the featured piece on the ground. They brought him in for a reason. And I think he'll have some mismatch opportunities early in the game. 82 yards on 10 carries last week. Should get a 12-pack this week. And Cliff Kingsbury likes that run-focused offense to try to take some pressure off of Jaden Daniels. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Packers defense still allows, yards on the ground. Last year, they were averaging 4.8 yards on the ground. And they rushed the ball like fucking crazy. It's weird Washington win. 220 rushing yards on the ground last week. And he still shot for 32 passing attempts. So that's it. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt to get the over 37.5. That should be good money. That's going to be the way we put the bow on the show, you guys. Plenty of action tonight. Plenty of action. Bet size appropriate and responsibly. Get your asses back in here for 7:45. We're going to pop off. You don't want to be late. I put together a new countdown video. That shit's time consuming. If you haven't done that before. TV's on. Games are fired up. Bets are placed. I'm going to make sure my ice cube tray is filled. And I'm going to be thrilled to spend the evening with you guys. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. If you haven't done so already, hey, think about gifting a membership. Help somebody get to that silver or gold level. Don't miss out on the best bets, our premium selections at Winnable. And we'll see you guys here very, very soon. 7:45, the best damn dual stream in the business. Have a great evening, everybody. See you in a little bit. Peace.